The traits that make us successful in business can be the same traits that can be real challenges at home or in our personal relationships. A lot of people assume that the divorce rate is higher for entrepreneurs because of the insane amount of time, energy, and money that goes into running a business. And while that's partially true, if we don't take a step back and pay attention to the bigger picture, we might miss a crucial opportunity to become holistically better for the people we love. In other words, we can be completely disciplined to being present to friends and family on nights and weekends and not getting distracted by work or constantly taking calls. But if we're not paying attention to the qualities that make us successful in business, we can still be creating unnecessary and avoidable stress in our personal relationships. Allow me to explain. Hi, I'm Kelly Clements, and I've been coaching entrepreneurs since 2004. In 2010, I began paying more and more attention to the crucial role of the spouse. And what I found is that, yes, undeniably, a supportive spouse could make or break a business. But what I also found was that a self-aware entrepreneur could make or break a relationship. I've also noticed a critical blind spot most entrepreneurs struggle with in their personal relationship, and that's this. The traits that make us successful in business can be real challenges at home. So if you consider the traits that help a person become a successful entrepreneur, what are the traits that come to mind? The ones I hear most are traits like passionate, well-connected, innovative, competitive, and easy risk taker. But if you can imagine how those same traits might show up at home or in a personal relationship, you might see those a little bit differently. In other words, a passionate person in business can be seen as emotional at home. Or if we're well-connected in business, we might be spread too thin at home. Innovation in business can show up as chaos or mania at home. And this is a tough pill to swallow. Great delegators in business can be experienced as very lazy at home. And while risk-taking is crucial in business, if your partner doesn't share the same risk tolerance, it can be a real recipe for disaster. Of course, competition can be a great asset in business, but competition in a relationship, not so much. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're in a relationship or looking for love, I have 5 strategies to help you strike business and relationship gold. Strategy number 1, get clear on what those qualities might be for you. A good way to think about this is identify the qualities or your superpowers in business. All superpowers have a shadow side. And so get clear on what that shadow side might be for you. Awareness is key. And so identifying what the qualities are is the first step. Strategy number 2, raise the floor. This is a concept Nick Peterson talks about in his book Bumpers, and I apply it to our human behavior as a way to get out of the fixed mindset that can create excuses of, well, that's just the way I am, love me or leave me. That mindset can keep us trapped in a broken cycle of relationships. And so raising the floor in terms of what behavior we're no longer going to tolerate or which behavior we're going to stop doing can help make those traits a little bit easier to manage in our personal relationships. Strategy number 3, get really clear on what the current compliment to criticism ratio is in your relationship. Often the traits that initially attracted us to our partner are the same traits that begin to annoy us later on. And so stop and just take a pulse. Have you guys slipped into the strategy or the habit of being more critical of one another? If you have, start to be more intentional with the compliments or giving your partner praise and see if they follow suit. This is a concept that I go into extensively in my online course. So if you and your partner would like more support in this area, we would love to have you join us in our next group. You can click the link below for more information. Strategy number 4 is to build in some buffer time between work and home. So if you work out of the house, maybe you're taking the scenic route home with a really great playlist or podcast to help you fully decompress after work. Or if you work from home, maybe you're getting an afternoon workout or walk to help you shift gears from work mode into family or relationship mode. And for bonus integration points, you know that time of day after work when everybody's getting home from the first time, maybe your kids are coming home from school, your partner's getting home from their job or whatever they were doing that day, and it feels like worlds are colliding. If you can go find your partner and give them a good squeeze, like a proper hug that lasts for 6 seconds, you'll find that you can sync up your nervous system so that you're presenting as a united front instead of feeling like you're getting thrown into the chaos as soon as you get home. So a 6-second hug is a bonus integration or transition strategy. And finally, strategy number 5 is to have a code word. This strategy works really, really well for my partner and I, and we discovered this early on in our relationship. Because see, as a coach, one of my superpowers is that I can get really, really intuitive in terms of when my clients aren't being totally honest or maybe even aware of what their circumstance or reality is. And I have these zinger questions that can help them pivot on a dime and expand their consciousness or what's possible for them. And while that's a great quality for a coach, in personal relationships for people who aren't expecting or even interested in being coached, that can feel very invasive. And so my partner and I, early on in the relationship, it was maybe like our 6th or 7th date, we were out for sushi and we covered a lot of territory in our first few dates. But as per usual, I wanted to go deeper. And so I was asking more and more pointed questions. And as the dinner went on, at one point, he looked up at me and he was like, Kelly, I don't know. I haven't thought about a lot of this stuff before, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, but some of these things I'm just not up for answering right now. And I love that he set that boundary. And I said, I totally get it. I didn't mean to be intrusive. And I looked down at the chopsticks in his hands and I said, from now on, you can just say chopsticks and I'll stand down. And to this day, we still use that strategy when we have guests over and he can tell I'm getting ready to pounce and start peppering people with questions. And so if you guys can find a code word that's safe and you have a sense of humor around that just kind of says, hey, look out, we're getting into that danger zone. It's an easy way to make sure that we can check ourselves to make sure that we're not getting into the danger zone of when our superpowers show up as shadows or more challenging behaviors. So I hope you guys got some pearls of wisdom out of this video. Again, if you're interested in joining our online group course, you can click the link below and be sure to watch my next video when I talk about the role of the spouse and how his or her superpowers as spouse can work for or against them as well. Thanks so much.